we've started to. We're much better final couple of minutes after that slow start. So just got to keep moving and keep moving the ball and moving bodies and see if we can do it.
Steve, appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's their worst quarter, and Steve Kerr knows the challenge that's in front of him. Is Draymond Green, first possession of the second quarter. Misses the three, secured by Randall. Wolves are hungry tonight, no question. They need a win before this series goes to Chase Center in San Francisco. They'll continue to play every other day through Game 5, which means the Warriors will go 10 consecutive games of every other day. It is a tough task for Golden State as Alexander Walker gets to the basket once again with a left hand.
Well, and that's where he's strongest. Alexander Walker's right-handed, but much more comfortable going left on the drive than going to his right.
Warriors got their shooting a little more organized. They started 0 for 8. They're 6 of their last 10, but 5.
You mentioned it, Brian. The biggest problems with the Warriors, 5 turnovers, and they've given up 5 offensive boards.
Podziemski able to hit the first. And we remind you that the NBA on TNT tonight, brought to you by Pepsi. Food deserves Pepsi. Brandon Podziemski, the Wisconsin native. Second-year player out of Santa Clara after a year at Illinois. Podziemski hits them both. 31-17 our score. Early stages of this second quarter.
And Kevin Knox becomes the 12th Warrior into the game in 13 minutes. And Trace Jackson-Davis is up at the scorer's table, will become the 13th Warrior to get into the game already early second quarter.
The zone gives the Wolves a little trouble there.
Absolutely. The Warriors defense, you look at the numbers, it's been fine. They've got to rebound the ball better. They've got to take care of the ball better.
And Draymond Green, did he get a shot up or no? No, they'll say side out. And what the Warriors were doing early in the season before the Butler trade, they've already used 5 different starting lineups. That's all in the last 7 games. Podziemski got caught in the air. Good defense that time. And Knox comes away with a rebound.
Well, Trace Jackson-Davis doing a great job keeping it alive. One of the best offensive rebounders in the league. Fell out of the Warriors' rotation. But when it comes to getting on the glass, he's as good as anybody.
Wow, Conley with a strip right.
At Milwaukee, but then lost at Atlanta and got blown out in Miami. That's the experience this group has without Steph Curry.
Gobert gets inside. Trace Jackson-Davis with the foul to the line. I'd be very interested to see. Well, we'll see how the game goes if the Warriors can fight their way back in this thing. But if it does get lopsided, you wonder what the number would be for Kerr. Would he, this is not the word he would want to hear, but it's what it is, the load management preparing for Game 3, which would be day after tomorrow in San Francisco, especially with his guys that are logging heavy minutes right now, Coach.
Well, we saw an indication of what he might do in Game 5 of the Houston series when the Warriors were getting blown out. He pulled everybody halfway through the third quarter and didn't bring them back in.
Gobert misses them both.
Well, he's under 50% now in the playoffs, 10 for 22.
Jackson-Davis out of Indiana University. Buddy Hield pulls a tough 3. That's an air ball. Force that one. Hield knows he is the primary scorer on the floor right now. Naz Reid goes to the basket. Oh, wow, what a finish. Naz Reid switched hands and finishes with the right.
NBA players have gotten so good now with that deceleration move, slowing down and being able to basically stop on one foot. Lead him. He's not only the leader of their defense, he's the hub of their offense. He's their facilitator, if you will.
Steve Kerr, when all of that was going on, was immediately calling on Jimmy Butler, asking if he was ready to come back in. That's going to be a shot clock violation.
Can Minnesota find better shots against this zone, which has baffled them a little bit here in these first 2 games?
Naz Reid takes it, leaves it, and a deflection ends up in a Minnesota turnover.
Well, we've seen Gobert already have trouble catching two passes. One a straight line pass at his waist, and the other one a bounce pass. You've got to feed 7-footers above their shoulders.
Strong basket by Trace Jackson-Davis with Gobert lurking. Anthony Edwards back on the floor, finds Alexander Walker. Walker probing. That was deflected by Nuss. Well, that'll be Minnesota ball.
Those emotions in check. You knew this was going to be important for this series. Steve Kerr told me he plays with emotion and competitive fire. That's what makes him great, but it can work against him as well. If he can channel that and not get baited, we're going to be in a really good spot. And also, guys, talked to Coach Izzo before Game 7, and they had a heart-to-heart about how he needs to keep his composure throughout this entire second-round series as well.
For at least a week. Can't afford to lose Draymond Green as well with those technicals starting to stack up, and he was dangerously close to getting another one, which would have put him one away from a suspension.
Well, Steph Curry and Steve Kerr did a great job of keeping Draymond Green away from that. And Alexander Walker knocks down a three. A welcome sight for him. He's now only 6 for 20.
Wolves have turned those 8 turnovers into 7 points. Jackson-Davis with the rebound.
Well, here's the thing. They're up 17 points, and they're not shooting the ball well, Minnesota. It's not like they're lighting up this Warrior defense. The problem is the Warriors can't solve Minnesota's defense without Steph Curry.
Edwards swipes, gets the steal on Spencer, and a foul as you get to where you want to go without challenges.
And that's absolutely true. And then make your run at it in a 3-game series, even though 2 of them would be on the road.
Well, if you survive to Game 6 if you're Golden State, you will finally get out of this every other day run. As Pajemski through their day in all of the other games. And we don't know if Stephen Curry is going to be able to return. They're going to reevaluate him in a week, Lauren reported. That'll be playing in Game 5 as Jackson-Davis gets a block on Edwards. And Edwards is down, grabbing at his left ankle. Playing 5-on-4 here. Gobert gets caught.